And welcome. Welcome to Doom. Are you guys ready? I'm ready. Everyone having a good time? I'm playing Doom. Need to remember to actually talk while playing this again. Terrible. I'm out of practice. Haha. What would I want from a new Doom 3? It's not... The concept behind this game is fine. I just... If you're talking about a follow-up to Eternal... I don't know if you can make that game any more intense than it already is. Fuck off. These fucking bullet sponge zombies. I chose to play on veteran because I'm a gamer. You doubt my credentials? So, I mean, we know from the Bethesda leak that there is, in fact, a follow-up to Doom Eternal in development. Yeah, it might be a prequel or something. I don't know if you can make the I'm trying to think how you would follow that up. Because, I don't particularly love Doom Eternal. I just... The thing about that game is that every firefight is this incredibly exhaustive, high-intensity thing. And I don't know how you follow that up. Which is why you do Quake instead. As I've been saying, that's why you do Quake. And specifically, you try to make a sequel to Quake 1. You try and turn that, like, weird medieval plus Lovecraft...
Hi.
Hi, Justin. Welcome.
I see you're playing a good video game.
Welcome to your Doom. As they say.
What made you want to play more of this?
ZP wasn't up to play Obscure.
Oh.
And I don't want to start anything. So, that's why we're here.
Alright.
Let me tweak the volume a little bit. Just make sure everything is a-okay. See, I would goof around with, like, weird RTSs, but unfortunately, the person who I would do that with is playing Ark the Lad, so...
Oh.
Which
I need to get into some... Go ahead.
You need to get in some video games?
Some weird RTSs. Yeah, I'm trying to... I got a list of a few games I'd like to finish in the first few months of this year.
That's yeah,
That's...
Hold on, let me... Okay, Discord... Okay, Doom, why you be like this? Okay.
What'd it do?
No, I'm trying to open Discord's volume stuff.
Oh, let me turn me... You need me to turn me down, or...?
Yeah, you're a little hot.
Okay.
Have I played this at all before? No. I have never played Doom 3 outside of making sure it worked. And, like, a little bit on Switch.
How's that?
You're good.
Okay.
Marine, I was able to locate your position. Core comm systems are beginning to malfunction and shut down. Massive service disruptions throughout the entire base.
Are you still playing on, was it veteran?
Yeah, because I'm a gamer.
Uh-huh. Okay.
You aren't far behind.
I'm legally obligated as a gamer.
Hey, you! Can you help? What? Hey! Hey! Ah!
Whoops. Whoops-a-daisy. I turned that man into a skeleton.
I've been playing a bunch of Doom too.
Yeah, you have.
Because,
Mr.
because
I don't want to
ZP.
play any new Doom wads, man.
Yeah, I said that, and then ZP was like, Doom 2 is a bad video game. And I'm like, no, it fucking isn't.
Well,
And then he posted... Go ahead.
yeah, listen, like, there's some definite Sandy Peterson classics in Doom 2,
Oh.
let's say.
There are parts of that game that are genuinely bad. But like 90% of it's just fine. He made a comment about how they're a bunch of chain gunners.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they're not that bad. And then I played it and I'm like, yeah, no, they're not that bad.
No, chain gunners aren't the problem.
Pain
Archviles are
elementals
the problem.
Now Archviles are fine. Pain elementals, however, they suck.
So, Justin, I think I'm doing better in this game because now I'm just sprinting. Almost as if a Doom game would be better if you ran all the time.
You do have a sprint meter right under your health, though.
Yeah.
Mechanics tell you no.
Heart tells me yes. Shotgun guys.
I think you're also doing better because you're using the SMG a lot more.
Yeah, because the shotgun in this game is
Sucks.
a limp,
A limp dick?
a limp. So, I played some of the finals today. And I had a very good time. Oh no, something scary's happening that I didn't see.
I think it was supposed to be on the side of the door. Anyway, the finals.
So the finals is a
Race schematic.
it's 3 teams of 3 or it's 4 teams of 3 depending on the mode.
Reversing the EFR, mechanical subsystem with 2 possible rules.
And
Activating the system will get you
basically it's kind of you have to grab money, you have to bring it to a bank, and you have to hold the bank while you get the money. And people can steal shit in any capacity while you are doing those things.
Sort of a PvP payday?
Yeah, a little bit payday. I compare it to maybe like the Titanfall 2 bounty hunt mode a little bit. And that you have to cash in your points. And the thing is, there's a lot of destruction in that game, and you can do things like blow up the floor underneath where the bank is, and it will drop down like that scene in The Dark Knight. And so a lot of the game revolves around creating openings and moving around, and it's all very smart, but also you know how there was a little bit of a kerfuffle around like how all of the voices in that game are AI, you can tell.
Huh.
They're
Do they do their job? Like, I know they're not necessarily
Yeah.
great voice acting, but
in terms of like, giving information to the player. Yeah. But in terms of like, why is this so like, these line reads are not line reads that any human would make, especially when it's your characters being like, Merry Christmas and have a surprise or whatever.
listen, in like, if the game gets big in like a year or two, there'll be a certain charm to it.
Yeah. Yeah, also, who knows if this... People seem to be into this game. Who knows if it has any legs.
But hey, as it turns out, processors have gotten a lot better since Siege came out, and you
can blow
if you make a game for modern
good.
processors, you can do a whole lot more destruction than you could in that game.
You can blow up a lot of buildings.
Yeah, this is why it's bad that video games come out and then don't die for 9 years or 10 years or whatever.
Do you think Siege will ever get like a full-on tech overhaul?
It already has. They have, for one, the lighting has significant. They completely redid the lighting engine. So if you ever see that game at launch and you notice that it's a lot darker, that's because they redid the lighting engine.
I mean, they put Sam Fisher in it. It has to be darker.
They put Sam Fisher in it, sure. Now it's all bright and everything. When that game came out, there were night maps. Oh, fuck. Took like 300 damage from a 10-foot drop. Video games.
Los videojuegos, they call them.
But yeah, Siege has received a lot of tech updates. The engine as it is today is not the same that it was then. But also, it still has to run on
PS4
computers. Yeah, it still has to run on a PS4 and Xbox One. Does the finals have to?
No.
Yeah, that's...
Yes, video games. Hello, Rio.
Yeah. We don't often get video games that take, especially in the multiplayer space, that take as much advantage of modern hardware as they can, because they have to sell those things.
Yeah. Which is why we absolutely do not need a PS5 Pro.
No.
No, there's armor over there. Armor's not what I need, though.
Armor doesn't seem to do much in this game.
But yeah, I had a lot of fun. And who knows how long I'll stick with it. Because there are definitely some, weird balance things in that game. Like, all of the shotguns in the finals are terrible. It's a game with a lot of close-range encounters, just because you are usually inside a building when you're banking the money. And all of the shotguns feel very bad.
I feel like every competitive shooter has had a massive problem with shotguns.
Yeah.
Either they're shitty, or they're
Siege.
way overpowered. Yeah, that was a problem. So the problem in Siege is that in Siege, with shotguns, a headshot will always cause death, no matter how weak the gun.
Yeah.
When Siege launched, when you fired a shotgun, the center pellet would always go in a straight line. So they were essentially sniper rifles. if you can get a
Uh-huh.
headshot. So when you have, let's say, a fully automatic shotgun with, I think it's 8 shells in it, might be
Yeah.
12, like Frost does, suddenly you got one of the best guns in the game.
Yeah. And now, now there's Cade with
Yeah.
his shotgun that has slugs.
Oh, what's her face's AA-12 now has the option of using slugs. So
Oh.
I forget her name.
Hibana.
No.
No, Hibana has the double barrel.
It's the operator that's from Italy, or she works for Italy, but is actually from Morocco. Forget her name.
Listen, the only Italian operator I care about is Maestro, because he's the defense guy with an LMG, and that's fun.
Alibi. I don't know if they took that away from her, but yeah, they, at least for a little while, her AA-12 had slugs, which was incredibly broken. I know because I was good for a few days.
Oh, it's me, Doom Marine. Oh, God. It's a gross thing. Ugh. It's terrible. I've thought about getting back into Siege.
One of your grenades bounced back at you. I downloaded it and started it up, and I found out that they removed the terrorist hunt mode. Or, well, they don't call it that anymore. They call it something a little more appropriate. But it was still just like, here are a bunch of bots, run around the map and kill them. And it was like the warm-up thing for me, or a thing I used to enjoy just firing up and messing with for a minute. They removed it entirely.
Huh.
And they've removed a bunch of other things from that game that I like. And they've nerfed a lot of the things that I found fun. It's not really a huge thing that they removed that, but it was more of a straw that broke the camel's back. I am tired of firing that game up and finding out they've removed something else or changed something else for the worse. So I think I'm entirely done with Siege at this point. I uninstalled it.
Meanwhile, I got back into Hunt. And the one big change they made to that game is now you have all of the guns available to you at level 1.
Great. That might be more fun.
And so you don't have to use the shitty guns when you prestige for a few hours. And so now you just unlock all the variants. And that's the unlock progression. And you also, when you level up, you get the, the special weapon, like tools and consumables. But it means I'm never going to use certain guns.
That's all right. Yeah, that sounds like a good change.
They added a gun. They added the drilling, which is a double-barreled rifle with an underbarrel shotgun.
That didn't exist in the late 19th century.
I mean, a lot of the guns in that thing are based on real guns. Or, like, weird prototype tech.
Yeah. There was a,
Am I just supposed to dump bullets in this thing?
Yeah, I've never found a good way to just not to be able. I've never found a good way to be able to dodge everything here. Eventually, it dies surprisingly quickly for a boss. I think there's a health pack port in the room where it came from. Thing, maybe not. And you can't run backwards either.
No.
That sucks.
Bravo team, entry secure. Move in and take positions. Quiet. Did you hear that? This is lead. Give me status. All is clear. There's nothing here, Sam. What the hell? Lead, I'm swinging around left.
Played more Lords of the Fallen.
Yeah, you did.
That game seems pretty good.
Yeah, it is the sequel to Dark Souls 2. We all need it. The Eurojank sequel to Dark Souls 2.
I beat, what was her name? Scourge Sister something?
Yeah.
I met Scourge Sister Delith.
Hi, Brayden. How are you?
Oh, hello,
Justin.
Chris
How are
Zombie
you?
Pirate Redacted.
Hi. I met a character in Lords of the Fallen whose severed hand was hanging around her neck, and she didn't seem to mind all that much.
Yeah.
It's a very strange game. There's a lot of blasphemous vibes.
Yes,
coming
a
from
lot of
parts of that
Catholic
game.
metal. let's say.
Blasphemer!
Yes.
Metal Catholicism, they call it.
Uh-huh.
In terms of just like, hey, you want people with a bunch of thorns and blood everywhere?
Yeah. One of the first swords I got was just wrapped in thorns, and I'm pretty sure that includes the handle.
Yeah.
Attention. All personnel evacuate.
Anyway, how are y'all doing?
Oh well. I was
Yeah.
enjoying the
Oh shit. Brayden, I
the
thought
game
you
I
said,
was playing.
you were just tuning out. You got like life shit and dog stuff to deal with.
Oh, I do. I don't have enough time for a full run, but I have enough time to see what the hell's going on with Doom 3 for a few minutes.
Yeah. It's terrible, Gino. I'm playing the worst version of the game because I can turn on the flashlight.
Also
Instead
because
of-
it worked
wait.
correctly.
Gas leak stop line.
What?
Instead of having
Which
to...
version?
Main reactor
This is the
operations
BFG
temperature
edition.
exceeding safe levels.
Which so like the story about id and the BFG edition is I still look. I'm not a fan. I don't like Doom 3. I
You
would
said
even
this.
say that. Yeah. The fact that id basically erased the non-BFG
No,
edition
it's
version of
included.
Doom 3.
It's included
But when they first, I was gonna say, when they first launched BFG Edition, where this was the only version of the game possible, that was a weird.
It was
thing.
always on Steam.
I seem to recall them removing it for
They
a little
removed
while.
it from Steam for a brief while.
Okay.
They got a lot of pushback, and they were like, "Okay, fine, we'll include it in the BFG Edition."
What happens with the flashlight when it's not this version of the game?
So in
You have to
original
manually
Doom
pull
3
out a flashlight and not a gun.
in original Doom 3, you had a mag light, and you pushed a button to switch back and forth between this big old flashlight and your guns. You could not hold them both at the same time. And also the game was a lot darker. This is essentially Doom 3 on full bright. Like that hallway right there, you would only be able to see a little bit of red light, and most of it would be pitch black in the original game. Which I feel gave it a certain level of tension. That and the lowered ammo count gave this game a certain level of tension that the BFG edition just doesn't have.
I would actually.
So it's just this is much more of a shooter. Original Doom 3 was trying to be kind of a spiral horror
Yeah,
shooter
little
hybrid.
bit.
yeah. So like, the thing with when Doom 3 came out, well, honestly, by the time Doom 3 came out, this wasn't the case. But like, original Doom had a horror vibe to it, and back then, there are times when it could have been a genuinely scary game, and that is the interpretation of Doom that they took for Doom 3. So by the time 2012 rolled around, and people were viewing Doom as more of this fast-paced action shooter, which is more of what it is anyway. the developers of BFG Edition just decided to like brighten the game up, give you a lot more ammo, and give you a flashlight on your shoulder instead of a flashlight that you had to switch between. And it changes the game some. I don't think it changes the game. If you dislike Doom 3 BFG, you're probably going to dislike original Doom 3. But I still think there is a...
And vice versa.
Yeah.
How many of the enemies have light sources on them?
Most of them have glowing eyes or something.
Okay. Because I'm just, how difficult it is to play the game with having a flashlight in your offhand, or having to toggle between gun and flashlight, largely depends on the design decisions around enemy light
So
sources.
first off, there are... The switch between the flashlight and the gun is really fast. It's not anything that takes a long time at all, and it's bound to its own hotkey. And secondly, almost everything does have some kind of light to it. Almost every enemy has some kind of light source on it, as mentioned. So a lot of times you can switch to the flashlight and just shoot at something glowing, and you'll kill something.
Yeah, as someone who does not like this game, the flashlight's quibble, honestly, I feel like was a huge distraction. So, like, it wasn't even in my top 20 reasons as to why I don't like this game.
This is the Monster Closet game, right?
Yeah,
Popularized the term.
I mean, well...
I mean, it existed, and the term was used well before Doom 3.
Doom 1 and 2 are loaded with monster closets as well.
I just remember this being the game where it became a bigger talking point.
Monster closets had largely disappeared from first-person shooter design documents by this point.
So is that walking flashlight supposed to be helping?
Yeah, that's
target
my
enemies.
little sentry bot.
In the original game, this was a much darker area, and this sentry bot had a flashlight, and it has its own gun, which really helped you out in this area, where
So this
monsters
was like
are constantly spawning in. But as you can see, there's no problem actually seeing anything right now. It's a little bit dim, but it's not like impossible to see what you're looking at.
Yeah, this was their design concession to allow you to see better, and now with the
They
BFG
ruined
edition,
it. But unfortunately, I couldn't get the widescreen to work for the original version of Doom 3. And I think it has something to do with the way Windows 11 handles Notepad. That I think broke something.
It doesn't...
Like, it was not saving my... Oh, here we go.
You can always download Notepad++. Oh, hey, a good gun.
Yay!
Yeah,
I did
download
use
Notepad++.
During my brief... I took a few classes on HTML.
That's where someone tells you to use Notepad++.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I installed it at my job when I first started because someone's like, put Notepad++ in the machine.
I also have it installed, and I don't use a text editor enough. Also, and now in Windows 11, if you close Notepad, all it does is it doesn't like get rid of whatever you typed in. So it's great for just writing a note, instead of using it as like a text editor.
I had that happen to me recently for the first time, like last year, and I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. Oh, I accidentally closed it. Oh, hey, it's still there. You don't have to click save or anything.
So that's
Though I will say the newer versions of Notepad are better about that sort of stuff.
They also have a dark. They also have a dark mode. I would assume that you just use a lot of Visual Studio.
Yeah, I use a lot of Visual Studio and Clips, depending on what I am developing.
I'm developing
guns.
A thirst for imps.
And
Mars.
A mild sense of irritation is what I sense.
No.
Not yet.
Listen. I would never be irritated at a video game. When has that happened?
Warning.
Where
Hey,
are
I
the
think you go.
receipts?
I think you go to the left of where that bot.
I
dead
forget.
itself.
Does the BFG edition come with the bullshit expansion pack game for this?
It does
Doom
come
3?
with Resurrection.
It comes with Resurrection. Well, it's not Resurrection of Evil. There's also the Lost Levels. There's a ladder right there.
Resurrection of Evil is actually bad.
Mario: The Lost Levels is in this?
Mario: The Lost Levels is also bad.
I remember enjoying Resurrection of Evil, but it's been a long time. Oh, by the way, I think this is the only female character in this game.
Sick. It's so
Uh-huh.
hot. Oh no.
And then she becomes a floating head thing.
And that's also the
So
first
hot.
Lost Scroll. It is in fact
Very
on
beginning
fire.
of the game.
No, this is like
This is several hours.
a
in.
quarter of the way through, maybe.
Wait, how come she's got a skull again on the ground?
Video game rendering is
Don't
hard.
worry about it.
This is the audio log of weapon analyst Teresa Chazar, dated November 3rd, 2145. I'm pleased to report that the preliminary tests on the ammo storage in the new Mach 3 plasma gun has far exceeded our expectations. We've realized a full 50% gain in the storage capacity of ammo packs as a result of utilizing techniques engineered in the Alpha Lab's molecular compactor. I believe with the ongoing compaction research, we will reach our goal of 3 times the plasma storage currently available in standard ammo packs. I would also like to mention that all of the employees here at the Enpro plant have been very helpful
could always
and
just
quite eager
Google
to
all these
accommodate all of my
codes.
requests. For security
wanted
reasons,
to.
I've locked the plasma gun and the
Which
extra
locker
ammo
is
in
it? It's locker 63.
Yeah.
with door code 972. End of log.
Oh, 09972. Huzzah. Audio logs without subtitles.
Oh yeah, the Lost Mission is the level pack. This
Oh, right,
it's
they
like
made
an
new
hour
levels
or
for the
so
BFG
of
edition, huh?
contextless Doom 3.
Sweet.
Just here's some beta levels that we never finished.
Cool.
These monsters are well designed. They're cool looking.
They
The monster
reimagined
design's
all of the
generally pretty good in
Doom
this
monsters, but now they're scary.
All personnel evacuate the facility.
The Hell Knight that they use in this game was also used in pretty much that same model was used in 2016 in Eternal.
How are folks feeling after Goaty yesterday? We recorded Goaty yesterday.
We recorded
Not-
we
no- no
recorded
spoilers,
Goatsy
but-
yesterday.
I have not listened to it.
It's not.
no,
It's not
it's
going
not
up
up
for a
yet.
bit.
Um,
But Raiden ZP, how do you feel about it?
we did it in under 3 hours.
I feel like
In
the
fact,
off
we
the deep
barely
end
went
block
over
was
2.
Pretty strong.
You stayed together to make some bad choices
Panzer
happen.
Dragoon Saga.
Hey,
And
is
some
very
good choices.
pretty.
not to spoil anything, but I think we committed a crime in terms of when the best character award
Yeah.
came around.
Warning.
Yeah, you ruined that award.
Core temperature 200
Know what else?
Braden, I have no regrets. Do you have
Listen,
regrets about
the
best character?
Oscars has a category now that's just best movie that made
I don't.
money. Best movie that
regret nothing,
normies
James.
watched.
Oh, he's being published.
So
But no, yeah. You know, I have it's my greatest work of art. I'm glad that we have finally one up Gladys' story.
All story.
Valdez story winning an award with
And
like
even remembers existence.
biggest crime in the history of the Deep Listens award show.
I don't know that it's a pretty great crime. It's one of history's greatest crimes.
I mean, listen, when Elden Ring deservedly
Like
won
the
that
fact
award,
that some of the characters that won
Shotful.
best voice acting did not win best character because of who won best character.
best
odd.
a character is more
Abominable.
than a performance. A character is the state of being.
Oh,
I wouldn't
yeah,
jump in the hole.
an award category with characters like Wheatley and Cave Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yep.
didn't win.
All personnel
How would they
Some-
possibly
Something
lose?
better won.
Yeah. The
Yep. How possible?
Citizen Kane of
How indeed?
yeah.
Have you listened to Bella Bartok yet?
reactor core
Yeah, I have.
Eugene,
What is that?
Celsius.
No.
the album of the week.
I need to listen
been
to
up for a
several
little bit.
albums of the weeks.
I listened to
I'm behind.
most of that Leonard Cohen album, and that's where I got writer's block, because I was like, I started to write something, and I'm like, I don't want to be totally
Gets his
mean.
hands on it. I don't know what.
Is Hallelujah
fine
in the
being
Leonard
this.
Cohen album.
I'm personally fine being mean. But I just have not,
Is
had the time.
Bradley
It's only like
Cooper
half-
in the
it's only
Leonard
like
Cohen
half an
album?
hour.
If you don't know, he's playing.
Yeah,
Leonard
it's
Cohen
mostly that, like,
in the,
because of holiday season, I have not been just,
Yeah.
like, sitting, trying to, jam
No, I
out
understand.
something.
Yeah, I understand. I have also, I don't want to say been busy, but
I'm glad that the game has finally given me a weapon that kills things.
now things are back to normal somewhat.
10 out of 10. Plasma gun.
Yep. This week is back to normalcy,
Yep.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whoa,
Braden, how do you
whoa.
like the plasma gun?
Let me tell you
Still
about
muted.
Indeed
Still in a
assessment.
situation where you can't talk.
I can talk. Let me
He
tell you
probably
about
loves the
Indeed
plasma gun.
assessments.
Look at it. It's got blue light.
Yes, and Braden, you're muted.
Yeah. I
God
think
damn
He
it.
might not be able to talk. It might be on purpose.
Let me tell you about Indeed assessments. I clicked the
Uh-huh.
Discord mute instead of the OBS mute. This is
Warning.
getting used to that stream deck.
900 degrees
Yeah, let me tell you about
Ah.
Indeed assessments.
Anyway, how did you like the plasma gun?
It's nice to have a weapon that kills things, as
Yeah.
opposed to
I mean-
ineffectual.
You've had the chain gun this whole time.
Yeah, but the chain gun doesn't have enough.
Takes
ammo.
longer than you'd hope.
You are a little bit ammo starved with it.
Hey, Braden, you missed the talk
Do
where
you
we
see
were
the
talking
car?
about
No, sir.
off the deep end.
Okay, let's get to the
we
communications facility.
committed a
Start the
crime for
transmission
character
from
of the
there.
year, huh?
I
You
no, I
say,
didn't miss
counselor.
it. I was talking the entire time.
Well,
What were you
we
saying
couldn't hear
about the
you. What was
crime?
your take?
My take is we committed no crimes.
Yeah, you're right.
I think
online.
maybe you guys if you want a more unified front, maybe you should. Well, first off,
Collude.
good news is there will be one fewer person voting next year, most likely.
Wait, why is that?
That's not out. That's not known information yet.
It's not known information yet, but
Okay.
you'll find out in 2 days.
No,
No,
not
No,
two
wait,
days.
no, you'll find out.
No,
In a week.
Like a
our
week.
unofficial GOTY
Yeah.
goes out.
Yeah, the Twitch year-in review
Yeah.
is going to be going up later today. The rest of it is probably going up next week.
Okay.
Isn't there a door over there?
Probably.
But anyways,
Oh, I see.
We don't collude enough. The
Yeah.
main show didn't
Yeah,
collude enough.
you need to get Pete on the level.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
as you, I expected you guys to, be more on brand with each other and collectivize to try and squash the middleman.
No, we're all individuals. We're free thinkers.
Yeah, you know what? It's also
That's what my dating profile says too.
Does your dating profile have you holding up a fish?
No.
Because that seems to be
It does have me holding
all the rage.
a dog.
Okay. But how will a prospective mate know that you can provide if you're not holding up a fish?
Well, why do you
Or
think
perhaps-
I haven't been on any dates in a long time?
What have you decided to include in your dating profile that you think about the Roman Empire?
Oh,
every
I'm
day,
constantly
every
thinking
hour?
about the Roman Empire.
Can't believe this happened.
Let me tell you.
They had so many good ideas.
Yeah, listen. Let's just ignore the part where, even when Rome was a republic, it was a place where extra legal violence happened a lot. Also,
Jump in the hole.
just a reminder for the folks at home, the Romans, do you know how they maintained that empire?
Brutal violence.
By brutal
slavery.
violence and slavery. They had some ideas, though.
So what you're saying is maybe Mark Zuckerberg basing his haircut and a significant part of his personality on Julius Caesar is perhaps problematic?
I'm saying that Mark Zuckerberg does actually deserve to be tried in The Hague, but Jeff Bezos, the owner of Twitch, does not.
Hazard doors now open.
Is there like an objective in your PDA or whatever?
An objective indicator in a Doom game, Justin?
Not an indicator. I mean, when I say objective, I mean some text that tells you what you're supposed to do.
Walk while enemies are spawning, and then when they stop spawning, you look around for a door.
Locate the military transmission card.
Alright, great. I don't know what that means.
Is this open now? Is that what I opened? Yes.
Yeah, this really monotonous level design that can cause you to get lost really easily.
Hey, listen, when it came to making this game look the way it did in 2004, you had to put fewer graphics in to make the graphics better.
Yep. You had
That's
to
why
have
the
They
enemies
put
all
all,
were
they put all the
raised.
graphics in the graphics.
That's why all the enemies disintegrate after you kill them.
Yep.
They got this to run on
There's
an
no
original
chips.
Xbox.
It's kind of incredible, honestly, that this runs on the
They
original
they
Xbox.
actually did have to make some cuts to it though.
Oh,
Not
for
quite
sure.
the same game. As in, some of the level design is different.
Yeah,
I mean-
but that was the case with plenty of console ports back then.
I don't think it's a great version of the game, but that original Xbox version of Half-Life 2 kind of like they broke the game up into like areas which the game only loaded them up separately rather than like this big continuous world with the stitching here and there.
Oh, you
Which
mean like
is
the PS2
novel.
version of Deus Ex?
Yes.
No, I
So-
thought they had the loading places in the same spots. I thought.
No, but they're much more small. Like, rather than you
They-
loading up an entire theme or area of, like, it's cut up even more. But, the stitching to Half-Life 2 is much more, let's say, abrupt on the original Xbox.
But they also
that game
did some
worked.
things. They also did some things like some sort of blank space areas that you can walk to in the PC version are cut off in the Xbox version.
Which is good.
Taylor Swift's blank spaces in this game?
Taylor Swift was like 10 when Doom.
What does Taylor Swift have to do with Half-Life 2?
Blank
Blank
space.
space. And I'll
Oh.
write your name.
Whatever.
Boys
Listen,
only
I don't-
love when it's torture.
I don't
Don't
listen
say
to
I
Taylor Swift.
didn't say I didn't warn ya.
I thought the
Boys
reference would
only
work since it was the most
love
popular
when
song
it's
in the world for a
torture.
bit.
Don't
I
say
don't-
I didn't say I didn't
When it
warn
comes
ya.
to popular songs,
It's gonna be forever,
you can bet on me not knowing
or it's
anything.
gonna go down in flames.
I didn't think you would like it. I just thought you might have been unable to escape it.
No.
Way to go.
I have somehow
honestly.
managed to
These
escape.
StarCraft
I somehow
lovers,
managed to escape
they'll
like
tell
most
you I'm
popular music
insane.
always. I have heard like some of it, but I don't know. I'm just not.
I don't listen.
It's one
I
of her
don't-
songs that's
I'm not a
vaguely like
Swiftie, but Blank Space is a banger.
it is a banger.
She probably has a few songs I'd like once or twice, but
I don't know how you get through society without Taylor Swift music, and I'm
It's
proud
also-
of you for it.
it's also possible I've heard it and just don't don't remember it or wouldn't recognize
How
it.
much farther I can go? Here. Take the
Probably
train.
Steve Bloom.
recognize it.
We can't stay here.
Steve Bloom.
Isn't safe.
It isn't
better move.
safe. Oh, if only I got killed by that imp. Ah!
I don't think it's an amp.
It's dead now.
Anyway, Resurrection of Evil is where you get the super shotgun.
Yeah,
That's
one
what
of
makes
the
that
worst
game a little
versions
bit
of the
better.
Super shotgun.
Everyone loves the super shotgun.
Yeah,
God,
it's
so
a shotgun that it's twice as much shotgun.
How many
until
barrels does
two.
it have?
2.
It only has 2. It's not Proteus where you get 4.
Yeah, Proteus, where the super shotgun has 4 barrels. And the alt fire is you shoot all 4 of them at once.
That's a good alt fire. Why don't more shows or games or things say adopt the more barrels is better? Why is there not an 8-barrel shotgun?
I mean, let me tell you about the Maxim gun.
I know about the Trigun and the knockoff Trigun that is in Final Fantasy Unlimited. What is the name of that gun again? ZP, you're the only person here who would know.
What's Vash the Stampede's gun called?
That's the Trigun.
What's the
But-
Final Fantasy Unlimited gun called?
Final Fantasy Unlimited gun. Damn it. What is his stupid gun?
It's
I
no
know it's
Lisa
Black
Pacifist.
Wind is the name of the character.
Gosh.
Lisa Pacifist doesn't do.
Marine,
Black
get your
Wind
ass
is
to the
Final Fantasy.
communications facility as quickly as possible. Gotta get that message to the fleet.
I know it runs on
I'm
soil.
back. What were you guys asking? What?
What was
the name
what
of
was
the guy's gun?
Kurokikaze's gun?
What's his gun called?
What's the name of this stupid 3-barrel gun?
In
The
Final
Ma
Fantasy
gun.
Fantasy.
Anyway, I
Unlimited.
was discussing earlier how in Hunt Showdown, there is
Kaze also has a shotgun.
there is a double-barreled rifle that has an underbarrel shotgun, which is based on a real gun called the Drilling.
Okay.
And it's very good.
Ma gun. I can't believe it. You know why it's called the Ma gun? It shoots magic. It's a magic gun.
Mod gun. Of course. Make a gun great again.
Have you ever seen the animation that plays in every single episode at least once?
Yes.
Where they shoot the Ma gun?
Yeah, no, that... So, I'm glad I didn't watch that. Because I thought about joining you, and I'm glad I didn't.
It's one of the worst shows I've ever seen.
Okay, so it's probably totally fine.
ZP, back me up on this. It's actually
It's
bad.
bad.
Okay.
Wait, what show is bad?
Final Fantasy
Final
Unlimited.
Fantasy Unlimited.
Is it one of the worst things I've ever seen? No, because I've actually watched morally reprehensible trash
Yeah,
shit.
Yeah.
It's the problem that we had in Game of the Year again. Like, morally reprehensible or banal. And this game, that show is banal. It is a waste of everyone's time, but it is not morally repugnant. It's just
It's
a
not
show that was made up
embarrassing.
with the rest. It's embarrassing. It's just not. It's embarrassing at its incompetence, not because it has moral stances that are terrible.
I see.
Yeah, Studio Gonzo is definitely not an anime studio associated with quality in the early aughts.
No, they were the people you could hire.
They were the people who made adaptions of every low rent
If you had a
Probably don't want to
license,
stand there.
every low rent light novel of the aughts.
yeah, if you had a license and you wanted to give it to someone that you could trust not to use it inappropriately, they were there for you. They had your back.
Didn't Studio Gonzo eventually do some good stuff?
Yeah,
absolutely.
they I mean, it's one of those things where, like, every anime studio has probably done something decent.
But for
Because-
them, like, they did Hellsing. Like, they
Yeah.
did Final Fantasy Unlimited and immediately followed up with the original Hellsing.
Is the original Hellsing considered good though? Because I remember that thing ending
Yeah.
poorly.
It's no Hellsing Ultimate.
Yeah. Hellsing Ultimate changed a lot of that stuff. But
And also, I don't think they did that.
What's
But-
going on with that guy?
It seems like he didn't. There we go.
Okay, there you go. You fixed it.
His ragdoll didn't finish.
But yeah, it's still kind of been, let's say, ambiguous as to whether or not they are still a functioning studio or if they are
Just a support studio.
just a support studio. All signs point to they have since switched to being a support studio, meaning they do
Alright,
the
now I-
storyboarding, assistant animation stuff.
Now I need to bounce. So
All right.
enjoy your Doom 3.
Have
See y'all.
enjoy your game.
Right about it. Oh, right. I feel like I mentioned this during the podcast, but they have been a very go-to studio for adapting video games because they did Phantasy Star Online episode Oracle. They did your favorite, Braden. They did the anime adaptation of Conception.
Yeah, I'm sure that's great.
They did the anime adaptation of Akiba's Trip.
Oh, I came in at the right time. I played that game through completion.
Yeah.
Akiba's Trip is fine in that it knows exactly
It knows
what the
what
fuck
it
it is.
Yep.
And it is just totally content with being exactly what it is.
And for some reason, I guess it makes sense because it's a Japanese game from that time, but it's structured like Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's a PSP game. Legally, it has to be.
Oh, they made my favorite thing, the thing that I've been desperately trying to get Braden to watch with me.
I'm not
they
watching
made
that
the
Tower of Jiraga thing.
They made the Tower of Jiraga Season 1 and Season 2.
Yeah, but here's the thing. You already told me that thing's twist, and the rest of it sounds terrible anyway. So, I don't know. How about not? How about I watch Free End?
Yeah, you should.
Instead of
Dragonlance animated movie. Let's go.
We should watch that Dragonlance
It's so
animated.
good and bad.
It's so bad. Like, here I was saying, what if when we did, this was an idea I had and it was immediately vetoed. It's like, okay, we're going to do an episode about the very first Fire Emblem. What if we watch the Fire Emblem English dub anime?
the OVA.
The OVA that was supposed to be America's introduction to Fire Emblem, and it's fucking awful.
It's an OVA. It's
Marth, your family is dead.
no, he's
Let's run.
Mars.
Marth!
He's Mars. But Mars.
Excuse me, Mars.
I mean, here's the thing though. It's not terrible. It's an OVA from the early 90s.
Yeah.
So you can kind of guess what it is. It's like this weird 3-episode thing that
All
probably
I'm
cost
saying
way too
is
much.
we did an OVA for a different JRPG franchise. Why didn't we do Fire Emblem?
Because there's that Megami Tensei thing was a waste of time also, and I don't think we needed to do that. That thing was a waste of my time.
Excuse me, princess.
No, that's not an OVA. That's art. That's the Zelda cartoon. No, The Zelda cartoon is also not art. It's just like another shitty 80s kids cartoon that
Super
has some
Mario show.
memeable moments. Yes. Well, it was part of the Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
Hey Mario, it's me.
It's Captain
Oh.
Lou Albano. Hey, paisanos. And then you're like, Wrassle, I guess? Ask me anything about...
What are the chances you're going to play the expansion to this game?
I'm gonna say
Probably
low.
high.
Oh, you should play.
Really?
ZP apparently hates Resurrection of Evil.
I like this game.
I remember.
I'm indifferent
Yeah.
towards this game.
I finished the fourth rebuild movie.
Yeah, you
ZP.
did.
Yeah, you did.
It's good. They
That
played
ending
Bye
was
to
that-
Evangelion.
They
that-
played Joy to the World.
Yeah. Yeah, they sure did. As a
fine.
classical music fan, let me just tell you, I was punching the air when I got to that part.
They popped up
Evangelion
and I was
and
like, what the fuck are you
inappropriate
doing?
inappropriate uses of classical music. Not since
But no, like that whole ending sequence, like it doesn't make any logical sense whatsoever. But it doesn't need to. It's just a bunch of images.
it's not about making sense. It's about how you feel.
Service lift called to station.
I watched The Boy and the Heron in theaters 2 days ago.
It's a good.
That movie is
All right.
great. That movie, it was also very funny to get my dad's reaction because, you know, he has liked a Ghibli. You know, I got him to watch some anime films because we watched Weathering with You in the theater, and he really liked that.
You're gonna love this part, Brayden.
Oh,
Even
it's
as-
like my
even as a fan
favorite
of
part
it.
of Half-Life 1
Yes.
that they made shorter in
I-
Black Mesa.
I hope you like using this thing because it's gonna be a minute.
Oh, good. I love that part in Half-Life 1.
Yes, on a rail, best level of Half-Life 1. Aren't Anno and Miyazaki pretty good friends?
Anno was Miyazaki's protege.
Yeah.
You can see the bit in Nausicaa that Anno animated himself because it's the part with the fucked up flesh monster.
Yeah, the World Eaters.
Yeah.
Also, he got, I've mentioned this before, but he got permission from Hayao Miyazaki to do, in the lead up to the rebuild
He is
movies,
the
and
voice
then-
of the main character in The Wind Rises.
Yeah, and also, so Anno decided to get permission to make a live-action short movie of a prequel to Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind, and it's the only live-action Ghibli thing that Ghibli has ever made, and it's a really weird thing. It's a very, very, very weird movie, but it's kind of cool.
Oh, that's supposed to be a Kako demon.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I feel like that's the most immediately recognizable adaptation.
Nah, that's definitely
No, it's
a
the
weird
pinky for sure. That's the one you recognize immediately.
look. I feel like the imp is pretty immediately recognizable as, oh, that's an imp.
There's no visible butthole. No.
Yeah, there's no visible butthole on the Kako demon either.
Oh, I hadn't looked. They disappeared too fast.
Anyway, I don't think Brayden wants to.
But anyways, no.
Almost conversation.
Evangelion 4. The ending to that
Very good.
movie the ending of the movie at the train is I got very emotional watching that part.
It's good.
I didn't get super emotional or anything, but I was pretty.
I think the
I was
reason why
pretty
I
happy
got
about it.
I think the reason why I got emotional is like, oh, okay, that this is over. Evangelion is officially over. There's nothing more that you can do. The entire franchise is done, other than when people make
Other
weird
than when
cross-promotional
Gainax continues to milk that cow
commercialization.
for money.
So like the thing
Yeah.
that I took away from it is the whole last half of that movie feels like Anno like thinking back on maybe the worst period of his life, or at least a really bad period, and just reinterpreting everything he had to say.
And also,
in a way, he kind of comes back around to the same point, but in a much more mature and happier way.
Also, it sure is like, yeah, I got married, and my wife helped a lot.
Oh yeah. Also, Shinji's girlfriend is the
the
new girl with the big boobs.
Yep, delightful. No, listen, that the part where they say Mary Iscariot is maybe one of the most one of the bits I have laughed the most at.
I had to rewind to be like, really? And then they do nothing with that, and
it's delightful.
They just drop that and then never say anything about it again.
Yeah. Anime is good.
But I feel like we talked about this the last time we streamed. You're burying the best part of Heron, which is Miyazaki basically uses part of that movie to apologize to his son for being a shitty father.
Yes, there is a bit near the end of that movie where it is I would say fairly obviously a him apologizing to his son. But yes, I recommend that movie. It was very funny to see my dad's reaction, because he was not expecting that thing to be what it was, which is like this very dreamlike rumination about the inevitability of death.
Which is also a part of Freerun, and it's the best part of Freerun. But yeah. That's the part that stuck out to me more than anything else. I feel like the middle act of
Boy and
the Heron is a little on the slow side, but it's like you kind of need to have Miyazaki just be up his own butt about filling the foliage and giving you the sense of the wholeness of the world.
Listen, the man wants you to take in the sights.
Yeah. He wants to have his characters just chill in chairs with sounds of nature.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, he basically says I'm sorry to his son.
Is his son still making movies? Because he was for a little bit.
No, absolutely not. He walked away from, like, the last I heard is, like, the last time he did anything, he was, like, doing live action stuff with NHK. Actually, I shouldn't say that. He came back to assist his father with executive production with The Boy and the Heron. Whether or not that's just him being nice and, like, having his name there, or whether or not he was actually creatively involved, who's to say?
This Wikipedia article says Toshio Suzuki confirmed that a new film from Goro Miyazaki was in development at Studio Ghibli. That was Earwig and the Witch.
Oh,
yeah, that's a weird 3D thing, and it's not actually a Ghibli thing. I mean, it was produced by Ghibli, but it
has several Ghibli animators who worked on it, but also
that was mostly an NHK thing.
I hear it's bad.
Was the problem with Goro Miyazaki that he just wasn't as good as his dad, or was his movies actually not great?
That Earthsea movie is terrible.
Is genuinely terrible. Basically, so the story goes is that Miyazaki fought to get the rights to make an Earthsea film, like, and even convince Ursula Guillen that give it to
Le Guin, yes.
Like Ursula Le Guin, and Ursula Le Guin thought Miyazaki was actually the director, and then didn't see the letter G when she signed off on it, and then basically
they tried to cram like 8 books into a 90-minute movie.
But the thing is that, like, Guillen notoriously does not want movie adaptations of anything she wrote.
Yeah, well, let me tell you about that Earthsea TV series.
Yeah.
now she's dead and no one can stop them.
And even though, like, Earwig and the Witch made okay money, it was a horrible, colossal flop overall, and it received even a stronger negative reaction than Tales of Earthsea. So...
Yeah, and you know...
And the way that it's been, Justin, the way that it's been told is that, like, Miyazaki refuses to actually mentor his son. Is like, well, you're my child. You should know how to do this already. God damn it! Why don't you know how to do this already? Why aren't you better at this?
Yeah. What about from Up on Poppy Hill? People seem to think it's okay.
That's a little bit more complicated because basically Miyazaki wrote the story and was like, go, just do it. Well, fine, I'll write the story for you. Do it.
Did Miyazaki have a mentor? Jesus Christ, this is brighter than anything in the original game. I switched back to this tab and I was like, God.
Yeah, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I was playing the video game.
No, that's great. But, like...
If you want, I can turn the brightness down.
No, it's the... I don't know. I'm just always surprised at how much brighter this version is. Anyway, what was I saying? Who did Miyazaki have anyone to mentor him? I'm not saying he's definitely like one of those once-in-a-lifetime geniuses, so I'm not saying we should expect Goro to be able to do that, but did he have a mentor?
I would have to rewatch Kingdoms of Dreams
God
Madness.
Damn it.
To remember what he said about that.
He also had Isao Takahata to bounce off of.
Yeah, he also had Takahata to help him out.
Yeah,
for most of
Takahata.
that. I seem to recall that he basically was... His first gig was with Toei, so he would have been, like, taught by the old guard.
By, like, the
Toei.
Astro Boy people.
The Astro Boy people. The Astro Boy team.
So the people who actually figured it out in the first place.
Yes.
Oh, no, not just that, but, like, the people who literally invented anime.
Tezuka.
Go Nagai.
Go Nagai. Go Nagai, the horniest man.
Hey, you know, Go Nagai seemingly created the super robot genre and then also invented Netherari.
Go Nagai, here, the man who has one of the most important, like, founding fathers of anime. Also, all of his stuff is weirdly horny.
Yeah, like...
And also, hey, Cutie Honey.
Yeah. Cutie Honey pioneered the magical girl genre, and then also invented entire genre of cuckoldry.
By the way, how do you like Berserk in this game?
The screaming.
He's just screaming his head off.
I actually have to be honest, this was one of my favorite things as a kid playing this game, just punching the shit out of things.
Yeah, it's good.
That said, I would oftentimes hit mute on my television screen because I found listening to this kind of annoying.
I mean, it is, but it's kind of funny that he just screams his head off for a minute. The thing about Go Nagai, the only thing I've ever really seen of like that's adapted from his is Devilman Crybaby.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so my impression of him is that he's just fucking dark.
Yeah.
Well, listen, the man had it. I'm not, listen, Japan is very weird about drugs. Mm-hmm. But there's no way drugs were not consumed during that foundational era of anime and manga. Anime.
So, I know my mom has talked to you guys.
Remember when we watched Cleopatra, ZP?
Yeah, I do want to have my dad at some point talk to you because he actually was in the tech industry when the bubble economy was at its peak.
When the OVA
Japan,
and the first like big US anime boom.
The way the stories that he's told me is while Japan definitely has draconian anti-drug policies, if you have this belief that Japan is like drug-free,
no, obviously not.
No country is drug-free.
But the way that he's made it seem is Japan has a thing for methamphetamines.
But
yeah, Go Nagai was probably doing LSD.
yeah, there's no way that man was not doing something.
But like, is Devilman Crybaby a pretty faithful adaptation of his manga?
It is not. That's like...
It is very much its own interpretation.
Because that thing gets real fucked up.
Oh, the fucked up parts are part of that is absolutely Nagai. Don't worry.
Nagai is a pessimist, let's just say.
Yeah. A fascinating figure.
I all know he also wrote a manga called Violence Jack, and I'm just bringing it up because I think the name Violence Jack is real good.
It's a very good name.
It's also a very seminal, like, Devilman and Violence Jack, like, deeply influence Anno. Like, he has not been, So, Violence Jack is weird because it basically sold Japan on the idea of making post-apocalyptic settings, because let's just say that post-World War II Japan, kind of like industrial growth, 70 to 80s Japan was very optimistic, utopian in its science fiction media, and then Go Nagai was like, post-apocalypse, yo, I read some Bradbury.
Yep, and then Yoshiyuki Tomino was like, I have these very strong feelings about war and giant robots.
And I want to kill all these characters.
And I want everyone to die.
Episode trying to tell you that they're cool and interesting people, and now I'm gonna just murder them. Like, Violence Jack and Devilman were banned in multiple countries, and like given the pink which means basically. I mean, Devil May Cry Crybaby, I think it's easy for me to explain that.
Devil
It
May
was originally classified. The original Devilman was classified in the pink category, which means softcore pornography. And if you watch Devilman Crybaby on Netflix, you kind of get where that came from.
Yeah, no, I remember parts of that being very explicit.
Yeah.
Communications shut
But also, yeah, part of that is because Go Nagai would like oscillate within the same year. I'm feeling like writing pornography today.
Like this goofy, horny comedy thing, and then
I'm going to write mecha
this,
anime.
Yeah.
That man was simultaneously on porn mags while also being a headliner for Shonen Jump in the same month.
Yes.
You're gonna have to find another way to send that message. Make your way to the satellite room and manually establish
just
a link from there.
one of the most incredible careers ever.
Can't fail, Marine.
You're like halfway through this game.
What?
Yeah.
This is
You're
halfway
a little
through
bit
the
less,
game?
a little bit less than halfway, yes. If you were to keep playing this, it'd probably be next session that you'd get to Hell. Which this game's version of Hell actually looks really cool.
That I will also agree with. It's one of the cooler visuals when you finally go to Hell.
Also, it withholds it for a long time, which I think makes it better, because if they were to just throw you in there right off the bat, I think one of the things I like about this game is like the last half of it really has a visual escalation. Like the first half of it is definitely a lot of industrial corridors. But I remember the last half of it being like, okay, this place really is falling apart and hell is breaking into our world.
Also, ZP, how did you feel about that paragraph I sent you for my...
Oh, I thought that's great.
I feel like...
2 paragraphs.
There's no way... Oh.
Uh-oh.
It was part of the, my visual novel of the year category, in which I talk about playing, H games.
Oh no. Anyway, yeah. I'm gonna dip out. It's almost 11 o'clock. I'll talk to y'all later.
Sleep well.
YouTube.
For doom waits around every corner.
Yeah, when I think about like interesting careers of like the old guard of anime, I think about Go Nagai and
Yep.
maybe Kunihiko Ikuhara.
Yep.
Like that man went from being on the top of the world with Sailor Moon and then immediately followed that up with Revolutionary Girl Utena, and then decided, I'm not going to give a shit about telling coherent stories.
And then he made that
Penguin thing.
the incredibly gay anime with the kappas.
Right, where he painstakingly shows the birth of a kappa.
Yeah, sure,
in
sure
graphic
does.
detail.
He doesn't care anymore, and I respect that. I respect that man hating Tuxedo Mask so much that he made an entire anime about why men suck. Let me tell you, getting my straight normie friends to watch Revolutionary Girl Utena was an achievement I'm proud of. Oh yeah, no, Utena's pretty coherent. It's, it's very dreamlike and surreal, but
Everything he made after that, like that, what is it? Penguin Drum, and then Arashi, and then Scheherazade Mai.
Yeah, Sarazan Mai, yeah.
Those things are airing on Incoherent. But it's great.
Oh yeah, well, Adolescence of Utena is the one where she gets turned into a car. And then it ends with two naked lesbians cuddling on a bike. And you're like, it's symbolic of something, question mark. Well, listen, Utena fans, now they hate the manga, because apparently the Utena manga, they make her more straight. And it's like, okay, so you fundamentally don't understand anyway. I think anime is definitely one of those things where there are cases where you can tell if something's going to be up your alley or not by looking at the creative people involved.
Yeah.
And
you know, do we still use male pronouns for Ikuhara? I forget.
I believe Ikuhara is a man. I don't know.
I know was born male, but I
have no idea.
Anyways, but I do know that Ikuhara still shows up to conventions when he has time, dressed up as Sailor Moon characters.
Lol. Yes, worst kept. Yes. Hey. Yeah. You're saying that maybe. Yeah. Maybe maybe Utena was not made by a straight man. I don't. Yeah.
But yeah, Utena's pretty good.
Yeah.
You don't
all of my
I
trans
don't.
friends love it. And also all of my lesbian friends love it. And I love it. Because it's fucking bonkers, bananas, crazy, and also 90s as shit. Like, the thing people forget about Revolutionary Girl Utena, which is available on YouTube, all of it, legally, in Japanese and English, is, like, for as much as that show is like, weird rock opera duels, and like let's say Yuri overtones. A lot of that show is also weird, goofy comedy bits. Like it is all things. Yeah. Okay, but that episode with the kangaroo, though. Counterpoint, that episode with the kangaroo.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just appreciate how weird that show is. Where it very much knows that it's a weird avant-garde thing that is also not afraid to goof on itself. I should start watching anime again. Maybe 2024 is the year.
It's good.
Yeah, well, listen. I don't know. Gino tells me anime is bad.
I mean, I feel like we keep telling.
I feel like Gino keeps accidentally watching the anime he is least inclined to enjoy.
You know,
like,
he's
I
gonna
don't know,
announce
people,
that.
people
So I
said it was
started
good.
watching Kill la Kill, and it feels like it exploits the male gaze. I don't know. It's like, fuck.
And it's like, why are you... Yeah, like, boy howdy, listen. And then, you know, watching JoJo and being like, this is fine, but also bad. Because it's Gino, and Gino has to frame everything in a way that lets him dunk on it easier.
I bet he wouldn't like Chainsaw Man.
No, he wouldn't. He'd be like, why is he horny?
Why did it... I got to the vomit scene. That's just disgusting.
Yeah. I can't watch this with my wife. This isn't Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. Yeah, I've come to the realization that maybe listen, I think Stardust Crusaders kind of sucks as far as arcs of JoJo are concerned.
I'm just of the opinion like JoJo is one of those shows where I don't recommend. I don't actually ever recommend the show.
I don't know. I would. Here's the thing. Like, I love Battle Tendency.
Yeah.
Because Joseph Joestar is a fun protagonist. Because he's just bullshitting stuff.
But also,
constantly.
When someone says, man, there's a lot of fluff to JoJo. And it's like yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a... Speaking of people who may or may not be gay. Araki. I don't know if he's gay or not, but boy, JoJo is quite gay. Yeah, well, here's the thing. Phantom Blood is like... Phantom Blood is when it's just Fists of North Star, but with vampires. And Battle Tendency is when, like, it starts leaning into the weird shit more. Instead of just like, hey, isn't it funny that these guys are named after bands that the dude likes?
Yeah. I mean, I do feel like Phantom Blood is just indicative of how much JoJo has evolved over the years.
Yeah, how different that series is by the end.
I would like Stone Ocean so much more if it was not just endlessly horny.
Swan and Campbell are still in the area. Watch out for them. Get that transmission.
Stone Ocean, I like the idea of Jolene. The execution and, you know, especially the scenes when she has no clothes.
Are you saying that maybe that series starting with her with arc starting with Jolene
Manual uplink established.
getting some work done for herself?
Do not call
like,
for reinforcements.
honestly,
We don't
I'm
know what
actually
the
of the
hell is going
controversial
on here.
opinion that
Until
Steel
we
Ball
do,
Run
this
is the
area
best
remains under UAC
JoJo.
control. Cancel that
I
transmission.
look forward to seeing that when I eventually watch more than Stardust Crusaders. Because I started watching Stardust Crusaders and I got bored because it was...
What if I told you that the President of the United States' name was Funny Valentine?
We did the right thing. Until we know what's happening here, we need to keep ourselves sealed off from
And
everyone
he
else.
sets up a rat
monorail
race-like
entrance is clear. Meet
race
up
to
with
serve as a
reach
front
the
for
Delta
collecting
I mean,
scattered
they need to
pieces
get all the parts of Jesus Christ.
of Jesus
the
Christ.
first stand user.
Who is the first stand user?
Green, you have just violated the direct order. Get
Oh
your
man,
ass
and then
back to that
you know,
console and send that
Gino's
transmission.
gonna see the disgraced executioner for the Kingdom of Naples, and he's the Italian character, because you gotta have an Italian character, and his name is Giro Zappelli.
But yeah, it's like, would I recommend JoJo to a normal person? No.
No, absolutely not. Hello, M. M also strategically missed the part where we were talking about magical girl Utena.
Yeah, she's a revolutionary girl. Here's the thing though.
Is JoJo officially normie anime though? Because of how mainstream it's become.
I mean, the fact that Clint Eastwood likes JoJo
Have to find
maybe suggest.
they know that you're not lying, because I also said that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Clint Eastwood does like JoJo, which is one of those things that, like, you know, because there is a picture of him with a Rocky.
Yeah.
Okay, but here's the thing: something being in Jump doesn't. I mean, mainstream to the Gino Griecos of the world. I'm not talking about fucking weebs. I'm not talking about people who consume manga. The people who read through One Piece.
So, like, now that you're tuned in, we were talking about, like, Gino has the magical ability of constantly picking anime.
Constantly picking the worst anime for him and his tastes.
So, Braden and I were talking about how, at one point, we're just gonna find him saying, so I decided to watch Kill la Kill, and it just feels really pervy and horny. And it's gonna be like, God damn it, I feel
mean,
like
he
you
did like
told me not to
Chainsaw
watch
Man.
Kill la Kill. He liked Chainsaw Man?
He did
What?
like Chainsaw Man.
Oh, but he was complaining about the vomit scene.
Yeah, I mean, that scene's real metal. Listen, here, the reason Bebop and FMA are recommended to everyone is because they're genuinely
actually good.
Seminal works.
I feel like also, I know for a fact that Gino's already seen it. My other go-to, like, anime for people who say they don't like anime, Samurai Champloo.
I mean, Samurai Champloo is more Bebop, kind of. I mean, it's its own thing, but it's also...
Oh, what if anime that would break Gino immediately?
That isn't like
Serial Experiments Lane?
Oh, he would fucking hate that.
It would kill him.
He would hate that so much.
I wonder if he would like Paranoid Agent. I think
Paranoid Agent, maybe.
What if we made him... Because I know he's already seen Fooly Cooly. What if we made him watch the sequel OVAs? Like the sequel television shows of Fooly Cooly.
No one should watch the sequels to Fooly Cooly.
I watched the one last year.
Did you watch the one that came out?
Fooly Cooly? I did.
Wait, there were two.
Grunge.
Yeah, there's Grunge and what was the other one called?
I forget. I didn't see that one.
Because listen, there have been good-looking CG anime.
God, what would Gino think about Panty and Stocking?
Well, if he watches this in English, because you know how the English dub of Panty and Stocking is like way filthier than even the Japanese dub.
Has he watched the Kon movies? I don't think so. Hitoshi Kon is not someone in his lexicon, let's just say. That's why I say I don't know if he would like Paranoid Agent.
I mean,
I think he would like Millennium Actress.
Yeah, like Perfect Blue, Millennium Actress are both. One. I don't think Satoshi Kon made a bad movie. Partially because he never had the chance to.
Trying to think, like, yeah, Gino would hate Serial Experiments Lane.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure... What's another one that would break? I don't think he would like Bobobo.
Well, that's his problem.
Well, we were just talking about the Maro Penguin Drone. Probably not. Cromartie High. That's a show that he would hate.
Cromartie... Yeah.
Gino would hate Cromartie High.
It's like, why is the animation so bad? And it's like...
That's the point.
That's the... Listen. They had $2 to make that thing.
But also, it's so good.
And that's... And also, one of those things where, once again, it's pretty good in English.
Like, I want to say that I wonder if Gino would like Pop Team Epic, but I think he would actually like Pop Team Epic.
Pop Team Epic is just a shitpost.
Yeah, would he actually...
Has he watched actual good anime, Mob Psycho 100? I don't know.
I feel like
the problem is, whenever I recommend something to Gino, he's immediately dismissive of it because he thinks it's a sicko thing. Even when I specifically pick something for him, like let's say
I told him to watch Jujutsu Kaisen, and he's like, "Well, I bet it's really horny." And it's like, God damn it. I mean, it kind of is.
I can't watch this in front of my wife. I don't know why.
Yeah, he thinks we're fucking with him.
Wife so much.
But yeah, like, Mob Psycho Season 1 and Season 2 is pretty fucking
good. As soon as we recommend anything to him, he thinks we're fucking with him. And so, you know, like, hey, remember...
And then he ends up watching, like M says, like, and then he goes off and watches JoJo and then complains about it. Like, just watch Fruits Basket.
Fruits Basket is great!
I know, I'm just telling him, like, watch the normie shit. Watch Fruits Basket.
Fruits Basket? Yeah. Fruits Basket has everything you want in an anime.
Yeah.
In that it's sad, and there are cute boys who turn into animals when you hug them.
Let's get him into Oran High School Host Club. Oh, fuck.
No. Kiss, kiss, fall in love.
Let's make him watch Code Geass.
Okay. See, now you're just speaking my language. Are you excited for the new Code Geass anime?
Hey, my barometer is this Code Geass project better or worse than Season 2 of Code Geass?
How much of a disaster is it? I'm looking forward to... God. You need to understand that, like, my enthusiasm and excitement for a new Code Geass anime is just because someone in Sunrise keeps, like, zapping that corpse and it twitches.
And by corpse, you literally mean
I mean
a certain character's corpse.
Well, that character's not dead anymore, canonically, because this new series is a sequel to that sequel movie, which is based on an alternate continuity
timeline where
from the recap movies where Shirley does not die.
Yeah.
And also, she's not responsible for shooting, what's-her-bucket. I'm just saying...
So a certain character will commit war crimes again.
Yeah. Suzaku is the dumbest motherfucker alive. And it's great. Like, you and I have talked about this before, but Code Geass is the perfect encapsulation. It is the last pre-recession anime.
Yeah, it's the last pre-recession anime where anime was supposed to be everything for everyone, and
then the recession happened, and suddenly only otaku had money to spend on anime shit. But yeah, Code Geass has everything you'd want in an anime, and that it has robots, intrigue, the worst melodrama / the best melodrama.
Oh, and season 2 was a fucking disaster.
And season 2,
I love it.
Does a soft reset thing. God.
Oh, and then it decides that it's not going to be like a harem show in a school. It's going to actually ramp up the drama and war.
But all of the international intrigue stuff is complete nonsense. It's great.
It's season 2 of Code Geass is.
To be clear, Code Geass is a let's say a trash fave of mine.
Aged like milk.
It was a very important thing in an era where I was not watching anime that much. It was bad at the... People didn't know that in 2006. It was on Adult Swim. There's no bad anime on Adult Swim.
Like, one of my earliest exposures to anime YouTube was I think it's that the account, the original account is gone. No, but Suzaku on the roof.
Oh.
Get down from the roof!
See, I mostly just think of, I'm at the soup store!
You're just gonna punch my shins again!
Yeah, but Suzaku is a very stupid boy. Who commits multiple war crimes.
Fable-kun.
And yeah, of course, yes, we can talk about how,
there's really random scenes that are just like...
They're just like, why is this in here? And you're like, probably because some producer made them put it in there.
Why is the green hair girl constantly upside down showing her panties?
These grenades are shit. Yeah, CC... Yeah, sure. If you're into clamp women. If you're into clamp women! This is where,
oh, shit, and how could we forget about Spinzaku Kick?
Yeah,
shit.
CC is constantly just, like, in her panties or with, like, very visible camel toe. God, that show's amazing.
Yeah, Spinzaku Kick.
Yeah, this is where you and I bring back our idea of what if we just watched a bunch of, like, previously beloved aughts anime, the stuff that came over here. What if we watched Chobits?
Oh, right. Gotta pull the tail that's above her butt, because that's how you turn her on.
Yeah, how do you turn on the robot lady? Where's the switch to turn on the robot lady? It's in her hoo-ha. You know, XXX Holic. I don't know why.
All of those Ghost in the Shell movies. Some of which are good, some of which are bad.
Ghost in the Shell Arise, which is bad. Well, Ghost in the Shell Arise was 2010s.
I like the concept of two innocents.
Ghost in the Shell 2 Innocence makes sense as a sequel to that first movie, in that Mamoru Oshii
Stop giving a fuck
is a man who has some philosophical ideas he would like to talk to you about, and he doesn't care if the rest of the work suffers.
Would it surprise you to know that Quentin Tarantino said one of the sources of inspiration for Kill Bill was Kite?
I'm aware of this, but
he has always said the uncensored version of Kite, which is like, the uncensored version of Kite is hentai, guy. Should you be saying this?
He's Quentin Tarantino, so yes, you can say that. Yeah. I'm saying that the time is now to bring back aughts anime enthusiasm. Listen, it's time to get everyone back into Haruhi.
I mean, yeah, I look forward to our review of the Endless 8 saga and the way that we have to talk about.
Well, yeah, we have to watch we have to watch an episode every week.
Yeah.
And yeah, and the entire thing around Endless 8 is also very funny.
It's very funny that they pulled that
It's
off.
like,
also,
were they doing a producers? Were they trying to sabotage their own anime? Or was it just someone with a lot of money?
And then, like, we would have to watch, like, Elfin Leeden explain that back in the day, that was the game you had to buy from Spencer's Gift because they were the only ones.
No, Suncoast Video. You had to go to
Suncoast Video. Because that was the only place that had the controversial anime with Ruby.
Listen, I feel like there's... I showed you that video, right? The video from a YouTuber called Hazel, where she kind of explains, like, why Elfin Lead was a big deal.
Like, it had I feel
this like
weird culture of, like, once you're done with the kiddie shit, this is the show to watch.
This is the... And, of course, no one in Japan gives a shit about Elfin Lead.
No. But it was
it's a show, but because it was one of the shows that got picked up and got localized, and therefore got this reputation. That's one of those things that I think is funny. Like the very different, like, Western versus Japanese perspective on stuff.
I mean, like, Toonami had to go away eventually because just the idea of needing to watch slightly less censored anime on television once a week. But there were shows that benefited from Toonami.
And then, yeah. And then, yeah, Elfin Lead is... Like, do you think anyone in Japan gives a shit about Ninja Scroll? Probably not. But because, like, a generation of people who are slightly older than us, you know, accidentally had their parents rent it from the video store. Anyway, this game sure is, like, a lot of
Like, the creator of The Big O has said that, yeah, that show would have been canceled and we wouldn't have done an extra season had Toonami not picked it up. Like, America saved the second season of The Big O.
Yeah. The people into that aged out? Sure. Sure, Listen, the Miami Mikes of the world are probably, you know, too busy getting, their prostates checked. Like the old weebs from the first wave of anime.
I do. Like, the way that we talk about how... I see, the weird thing is like, there are some Disney adults that are like, man, I miss the old school 2D Western animation. Pixar ruined everything.
Disney was dark.
Remember when Disney made the Black Cauldron? It's like, where the fuck were you people when the Black Cauldron first came out? That movie tanked and led to Disney needing to, like, completely refigure things out for, like,
The Black Cauldron is one of the reasons why Michael Eisner happened.
I've always said this, like, Michael Eisner was actually good for... Like, this is the thing
he
that
was, absolutely.
Defunctland actually does talk about is, like, the wheels came out from Michael Eisner near the end of his tenure.
Oh, yeah,
that was actually good for that company for, like, literally 20 years.
Yeah, no, the man rebuilt Disney and then ruined it over the course of his tenure.
And then, at least that man was willing to...
Yeah, maybe you people should have seen
green
Coraline in theaters.
Original ideas versus the current administration.
Maybe you fuckers should have watched Kubo and the Two Strings. Have I ever talked about how much I love that movie?
It's a good movie.
It's good shit, and the fact that that entire thing is made by hand with stop motion is dark wizardry. I don't know, listen, as someone who has babysat a small child a lot recently, I'll say, you know what? Plenty of half-decent, modern-era Disney films. Encanto is a banger.
But anyways, yeah, like, movies or animes that Gino would break.
Yeah, what would break?
Assassination Classroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't deny it. Like, he would be like, this is too anime. Wait, is the...
I need you to play Dangan. I need you to pick Danganronpa.
Oh my god, pick Danganronpa.
For the podcast.
It would break Gino if you pick the Danganronpa.
You also break Pete along the way. So it's a
You're
twofer.
going to? Please do this. Oh my god. You have it on your list?
The first
one.
one.
Oh my god. Of course it would be the first one. Unless you wanted to do a truth shitpost and you picked the third-person shooter action game.
Yeah, or you picked... I mean...
The Tropical Resort one that everyone hates.
Listen, I love... You don't get the payoff at the end of Danganronpa V3 until unless you've played those first two. You don't get the scorched earth attempt at just shooting your own franchise in the head.
But it's so good.
Yeah. I mean, the first one is very much like, hey, it's Ace Attorney, but even more anime.
What if the people that you're investigating for Ace Attorney actually died?
Well, I guess I'll put it this way: it's Ace Attorney, but what if 2010s anime or late aughts anime instead of early aughts? Because remember, yeah.
I had 0 appearances on the main podcast. You had 3. Where's the justice in that? I think you've now tied me for... Actually,
Have you
no,
never
I think
been
I got
on a
1.
main podcast episode?
I've been on the main podcast, but like last year, like Gino's like, I'm worried I'm overworking you. I don't know if I want to have you on the main podcast.
Well, I'm unemployed right now, so I'm willing to show up on anything.
What if you picked a fighting game, but you picked Dragon Ball FighterZ Z?
See, the problem with... Once again, the problem with, like, that is that it's just gonna be like, yeah, the auto combos. I pressed square a bunch and did an auto combo over and over again.
Right.
Because no, I'm not gonna ask the main pod to play a fighting game.
Yeah.
Ace Attorney.
Well, what if you played the JoJo fighting game?
Fighting games are just too insular. But here's the thing, like, you know, there's fighting game experience
Nah, if you...
in...
Oh, shit. Now Em's saying that she also has Ace Attorney on her list. I would say incentivize Danganronpa.
Listen, like, Ace... I love that original Ace Attorney trilogy, those... And I feel like I'm not alone in that. Like, it feels like Ace Attorney was a formative thing for a lot of people in regards to, like...
Warning.
Weird anime stuff.
Toxins identified.
What is the... Yeah, the thing is, there's nothing to say about fighting games that won't just make you come off like a complete ignoramus if you're not willing to at least put some level of investment in it.
So, there's some Sword Art Online video games, and
No.
let me tell you... I can't even finish the sentence.
No. What is there to say about the Ace Attorney trilogy? It's real good. The localization is real good. It's like one of those examples of like how a stellar English language localization can make something very Japanese.
You can also
work.
pick the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles.
Oh, you mean you mean like those games are such a big deal that there's not anything to say about them anymore? Yeah, great. I need to play the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles.
It's good.
I have multiple visual novels and Japanese adventure games installed on my stuff, and instead of playing any of those, last year I played fucking and You, Me, and Her. I need to finish You Know. And you're like, do you? And the answer is yes, I do, because it's one of those things where, in addition to the part where I just really like that game's entire aesthetic, it's like, if this was not an eroge, I think it would be better. But yeah. Or play a Professor Layton crossover. And realize, because the thing about Professor Layton Cross Phoenix Wright is that that game is way more of a Professor Layton game, because Level 5 was the main one behind it. Which is why...
Pump station shut down.
Okay, so hear me out, Em.
Okay.
So if you feel like, and I do think that you guys are going to have to play Sonic 06. Okay?
That will
So
happen.
hear me out. What if you counter-programmed and picked Shadow the Hedgehog?
Uh-huh. I mean, I
So
could
like
play Shadow the
the
Hedgehog right
podcast
now.
before. What if you played the podcast before you played Sonic 06? You picked, or
was
someone
that?
else picked,
Okay.
Shadow the Hedgehog.
Thank you. My brother is giving me dinosaur nuggies.
Oh, did I don't think I've told this story other than to you. But Braden, have I told this on, I think I've only said this like privately during our tabletop group. So Did I want to publicly announce the video game that I got when I put my name in the fandom moderator lottery, get a free game lottery.
Yes.
So I put my name
Tell
in.
the people.
I put my name in, and the promise was that everyone would get a free game, a free actual video game that you could redeem on Steam. So I put my name in the lottery. I put my name in the hat. And the free game I got was Death Stranding: The Director's Cut.
Wow. That's like an actual video game.
It's Death Stranding, though.
It is Death Stranding, though. We should play Death Stranding.
You sure should. It sure is a video game.
It's on Game Pass, I think.
So what's the theme for M's picks for 2024? Is there a theme?
I don't know. I think I had some pretty good ones this year.
It's not going to be a year of torture?
No, I don't
you
have
picked
to
some-
torture
yeah.
anyone this year.
No, because M's pick won.
Am I the first pick? I am the first pick because Pete picked this last one. Am I?
Yeah.
I don't know. So what I wanted to do Ace Attorney because I think it's a something that is missing from Gino's repertoire. But I could forego that for Danganronpa,
I think
which would be fucking hilarious.
I think
I
you
think
just have to get on Gino's case to force him to play an entire game all the way. Like that's I would insist on Gino actually seeing the game to the end, which knowing how stubborn he can get, he would probably do it.
For which one?
Danganronpa.
Danganronpa? Yeah. Which I already own, so that's easy enough for me. I think he would hate it.
I guess that's the point.
Mm-hmm.
See, the problem with Umineko is that it is both too long and too good.
Oh yeah, that's so much game for. I don't know if we can handle that.
That's a lot of book. It's not a game. It's a book.
It's a read.
It's a book, but also you want to install the fan patch that adds the voice acting from the PS3 version, because a lot of those lines are way better when delivered by an anime voice actor. Yeah, part 1 of 8. Yeah, do the first part of Umineko, and just
Is it still ridiculously long?
No, it's like 10 hours.
Oh.
The first
Okay,
episode
that's
of
not bad.
Umineko is like 10 hours.
Maybe.
Because the
I'll
way,
keep it in mind.
like, basically it's split. The first 4 episodes and the last 4 episodes are kind of split into the question and answer arcs. So the set up the mystery, explain the mystery sort of thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, actually do 428 Shibuya Scramble, because that's just art.
That's just good though.
Yeah, the problem with 428 Shibuya Scramble is that it's too good. Because they made weird anime...
I do wonder, like, if you pick Danganronpa, you realize, M, that you've opened the floodgates for, like, an actual traditional visual novel.
I think we've done visual novels before.
You have, but they've had mechanics. What if you played the Japanese-style visual novels where literally you're just clicking?
a kinetic
What
novel.
what would we pick for that?
Steins Gate.
Ugh.
Or Sayonara.
No. We're not... Listen, ZP, as part of... I feel like you and I will eventually get there.
We'll play a maybe, except the name that shall not be uttered.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that
Right.
it's in your book of important RPGs.
Which one?
Sengoku Ransei.
It's an actual literal
The
hentai
thing is
tactics
where it's one of
strategy
those
game.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's like a capital H hentai game that is also supposedly a half-decent strategy RPG. I don't
And as a
believe the
result-
people who say that.
And as a result of Japan buying the game because they wanted to see boobies.
Yeah, and also because it
and the
was one of
sex.
those, it was an H game that got an official translation and release.
It actually popularized the tactics genre during a time post, let's say, Final Fantasy Tactics.
But also, Deep Listens just play Trails for a year and a half. Okay.
God.
Just because then we'll make the Trails people mad.
I want to pick Tales of Symphonia.
Okay.
Oh, fuck yeah. That's not the Tales of game I picked, but sure.
That's not the one I'd recommend, but you know.
That's the one that I
That's
played
the one that was
back
on the
in the day. It sure was.
But
I didn't get attached to any of the other ones. I was like,
Yeah.
I like this one. Let me play the other ones. And I was like, this is not the same.
Yeah. But they are all kind of the same.
Yeah. Too mainstream. Damn.
Listen, we're allowed to have mainstream picks. Sometimes give the people what they want instead of,
The problem is when we
Wizards and
pick
Warriors.
mainstream games, then we end up hating them, and then people get mad at us.
Hear me out.
Okay.
Gino has clearly softened on his stance in terms of emulation. I think that part is a given.
I think we basically have to
What if
give
you
some
actually
leeway there.
followed through on your threats of playing Mother? Mother 3.
That is an option. I don't know if we could finish Mother 3 in the span of
You
time.
probably
usually.
shouldn't.
Yeah. Like, can you finish Mother 3 in 2 weeks?
No.
No.
No, that'd
Mother
probably
would be
a
better
cheap
for Off the
better.
Deep End.
Yeah. Yeah, that... Listen, I'm not against playing Mother 3, because I've never played it. I only know about that game through cultural osmosis.
And the fact that we were on a video game website where people would not shut the
Yeah,
fuck
where
up
people
about
would not...
Mother 3.
So I had a fun flashback to the Giant Bomb forums circa, let's say, 2010. Because I was reminded
Making progress, are we?
of an Oblivion mod called Nerim.
There's no need to rush. I am everywhere.
Because fun fact, it's the Enderal
It's a pity
people.
you did not alert the fleet, but it is of no consequence.
Really?
Yes. So before they made Enderal, they made Nerim. So this small indie team in Germany has been making like incredibly elaborate Elder Scrolls mods.
Oh, and this started because of the Rome game that we played, right?
Yeah, I think there were some people on the Giant Bomb forums who were very much like, this is the real Oblivion. It's a real video game.
Oh, right, because we had so many people who were like, Skyrim's not actually an RPG.
Well, back then it was Oblivion. And listen, I think going back to Oblivion would be a bad time, which is why we should do it. But also, Daggerfall Unity 1.0 came out on December 31st this year.
I feel like...
Last year.
Let's play Skyrim.
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That's our April Fool's episode.
Yeah, exactly.
We play Skyrim.
There's nothing left for you but the slow death as your lungs fill with toxic gases.
Do you think we still need to play 13 Sentinels?
13 Sentinels is cool. I need to play that.
Yeah, that's been one of those things that I'm like, we should look into this for like, what, 3 years now?
Yeah. That guy likes Anpan. That's all I know about
also,
13
like,
Sentinels.
Maybe Zero Escape.
Ooh. That's
See, the fun of Zero Escape
cut.
is it's a very steep downward spiral after Virtue's Last Reward.
So play the good ones. You don't have to know that.
No, listen, you gotta play Zero Time Dilemma, because the twist for that thing, which I only know by reputation, to be clear, is maybe one of the funniest things I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because all of those games have, like, a very cool, like, meta twist of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
And the twist in Zero Time Dilemma is hilarious.
Somnium
Kotaro
Files
Ushikoshi
is unfortunately still pretty pricey, but
yeah,
the people who have played it have said that it is quite a good time.
I love AI. The Somnium Files, the second game. The twist in the second game is so fucking dumb.
But it is of no consequence. I'll alert them myself.
It
They will
like,
come to the
boy
rescue and
howdy.
be consumed by my legion. We will use their ships
People who
to
really
bring
like the
this
house
hell
in
to
Fata
Earth.
Morgana
Yeah.
love that game.
And you will die.
Yeah, AI The
long
Somnium
before you
Files is
have a
great.
chance to
The sequel is less great, still has some fun bits.
You know what would be funny?
What?
We should play Baldur's Gate 1.
No, you have to play
God.
2.
And then play
And
2.
then Gino's like, what's
and then
Thaco?
never play
I don't
3.
get Thaco.
Oh God! How will Gino react to that?
I don't like that
How-
you have to pause.
How does anyone react to Thaco?
It's not.
It's not actually.
It's making me do math.
But it's
I
not
don't like
really
math.
that hard. See, the weird thing is if he complains about math to calculate armor class, he already does math to do his card.
We should play Ultra Kill
Yeah, you should.
as a shooter.
Oh right, there's a Magic the Gathering single-player RPG from Microprose.
What?
Yeah.
What is that? What's it called?
Chandelar.
Yes. Chandra Nalar, the fire lady from Magic the Gathering.
Yeah,
I understand.
you get it.
I assume that's what we're talking about.
Correct.
Figure things out on our end.
Yeah, it seems like
Yeah. I feel like there are a couple of video games and video game franchise where we have to figure out if it's main podcast territory or off the deep end. Like, is Off the Deep End gonna pick a KOTOR game? And if you do, you better pick 2, because that's the interesting one to talk about. Like, are you gonna do Baldur's Gate 2?
Probably not.
I also feel like that game, by virtue of that game's reputation, the most interesting
I'm just giving
thing,
examples. I'm not actually saying that we should do a podcast in 2024 about KOTOR, because Jesus Christ. There are far more
also
interesting things to
Waypoint
discuss.
or A More Civilized Age already did that.
Yeah, also, I'm just giving an example of something that would be considered mainstream, and I want to avoid another
mainstream?
Eternal Sonata situation where, like, we're fighting over a game between two
Fighting over
podcasts.
custody. I think that worked as a crossover.
Yeah.
I also
I feel like Braden, correct me if I'm wrong, will probably play more CRPGs in 2024 than we did in 2023.
I don't know.
Really?
I mean, because I was threatening 2024 to be the year of Sakaguchi, but specifically the man's post Square.
Look, I'm gonna be honest. We need to get our shit together, and we need to play Xenosaga Episode 2.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. We do need to play Xenosaga.
Like, honestly, we need to get our shit together.
Yeah. Okay, you're right.
Because especially, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but boy howdy, let's just say in 2023 there was some DLC that connected a certain series and franchise to Xenosaga canonically.
Yeah.
And it's fucking amazing.
Because
Xenoblade Chronicles 3 DLC in 2023 made Xenosaga canonically a part of that franchise.
Yeah. See, everything I hear about Xenoblade 3 sounds fantastic, except the part where, once again, I just don't like the single-player MMO plate juggling combat. Anyway, we have to play Xenosaga 2 to get to Xenosaga 3.
Destroy him. Do you?
Yeah, we do.
Start with the second one, and then...
We already played the first one. That was one of our opening...
We played the first one. It was like one of our first podcasts that we recorded.
Remember when we did lectures?
Yeah, remember when we tried to be educational?
What happened to that?
We realized it was a bad idea after...
It's like, it required...
Too much work.
Well, okay, so the thought process at the time is that we would rotate between the three of us to, like, one of us would have to, like, basically research an essay or historical topic. The first one is about...
Related, anti-Semitism in Japan.
Yeah, so Jeff did anti-Semitism in Japan and why Christian imagery is popular in Japanese anime, and then I did the history of, like, Jungian psychology and how it relates to certain popular tropes in anime. And we got to Braden, and Braden's like, I'm going through a lot. The amount of research that I would have to do is, like, a lot, and it's
I just want to talk about used game stores and how I miss them.
And it's like, okay, we'll do that. Fine, sure. And then we realized, what if we didn't do this segment anymore?
Yeah.
And we realized, hey, you know what would be fun? If we did a 90-minute podcast. I keep trying to convince Gino that this isn't a bad thing. What if we did 90-minute podcasts?
I mean, the main pod rarely goes over 90 minutes.
Aren't we doing 90-minute podcasts?
What if we were under 90 minutes?
Usually we keep it under, like, we hit a sweet spot in like 70 to 80 minutes.
See, I'm fine with 2 hours.
Yeah, 2 hours is like a maximum
Once
for me.
you get over 2 hours, maybe you should split that sucker in half.
Yeah.
What if Xenoblade... You told me Xenoblade 3 has a job system?
Xeno? Look, we simply must get to Xenosaga Episode 3.
Yes.
We must talk about
we need to
the actual plot twist of Xenosaga Episode 3.
We need to talk about the blood of Christ.
Oh.
Like, the weird thing is like, Cosmos is cropping up again and again because Monolith keeps signing off on the gacha games using Cosmos because
she's a very popular
she's a
character.
sexy robot lady.
Because she's a robot lady with a gun for an arm.
She's got something in her belly button, which I will not repeat here because I respect Braden.
Yeah, no. Monolith
You
also,
could just say it like a normal
it's not Monolith.
person.
It's the fact that Namco technically owns the rights to the character.
Owns the rights.
But since Nintendo owns Monolith Soft now, which is still just one of the weirder
subsidiaries,
like purchases.
Hey man,
they made.
like the Xenoblade franchise has made them decent amount of money.
The fact,
other than X, people don't like to talk about X.
X is great. You get robots.
And that continues to be like one of the weird Wii U games that they continue to not bring to Switch.
And apparently part of it is technical reasons. But I think Xenoblade 2 coming out early in the Switch's lifespan is the reason why that franchise accidentally became a pillar for Nintendo.
Why Shulk is in Smash.
Why Shulk is in... No, Shulk was in Smash before Xenoblade 2. But also, you know, the Project Rainfall shit, and...
Oh my god, Batten Kaitos. Just saw that in the chat. That's a fucking...
That's us. That's us.
Well, yeah,
back.
listen.
Yeah, that's Batten
That's
Kaitos
us.
is us.
Oh yeah, you can have it. I mean, I was just reminiscing.
I'm good.
What if, Brayden, okay, but hear me out. What if we did Lost Kingdoms and Batten Kaitos as a twofer?
Uh-huh.
Mm.
I think I might actually like Lost Kingdoms more than Batten Kaitos, only because I feel like that game's shorter and more manageable.
I replayed Lost Kingdoms. I believe that's one of the first games I streamed when I got my Elgato. So, yeah, that was pre-archive, but still, when I... Yeah, I think that might have been one of the first games I streamed when I got the Elgato. Yeah, also, Monolith helped make Breath of the Wild.
I mean, they also helped with Splatoon, I think.
Yeah. It's more just like... It's real weird that they ended up being one of Nintendo's workhorse third-party or second-party developers.
One of the only studios that they've outright just bought.
They bought Rare and then they sold it. I thought about playing Conquer again.
Why?
Because I have a fondness for that game.
I mean...
I'm not going to pretend it's great.
I forget, did they do Bad Fur Day or Live and Reloaded in the Rare Replay program?
Bad Fur Day is in Rare Replay. Live and Reloaded is back compat on Xbox Series.
Hey ZP.
What?
Are you gonna do, this is unrelated to anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Are you gonna do, Crisis Core on the Final Fantasy podcast this year? You're running out of games.
Okay. So here's the weird thing. I think you and me are the only people who played the mobile version of the game, which we had the same experience of, like, being kind of happy with that game at first, and then...
And then why is this a gotcha? And...
Oh, no, wait, that's Ever Crisis. Sorry.
Yeah.
God, we also have to do Ever Crisis.
Yeah.
That's actually what I was thinking. Like, Ever Crisis, I feel like we were both super positive about that game, and then we got to the part where we had to fight fucking goddamn
Sephiroth
like 5 times.
Yeah.
And then apparently it's slightly better in the non-mobile version of the game, but I don't fucking buy it.
I think you should play Crisis Core.
Crisis Core is...
play Crisis Core.
That would be a good companion piece to 7 Rebirth.
Crisis Core is cool.
Crisis Core is also
it's got the slot machine combat system too, and
same general neighborhood as Birth by Sleep, in that it's like, it's really impressive. This runs on a PSP. True. Also, you can tell this is a PSP game.
Yep.
Yeah, we probably... Like, we said this off the, like, when we were, like, doing the... I don't know if this part of the podcast got cut out, but it's like, we really don't know how many truly good Final Fantasy games we've got left.
Warning.
You got
I do
4.
remember hearing this, but also I edited it.
4. You've got World of Final Fantasy. You know,
World
the
of
real
Final
winners.
Fantasy.
You've got the entirety
we do,
of
maybe
16.
Final Fantasy 14. For Realm Reborn.
Yeah, you've got the entirety
Shadow
of Final Fantasy
I've always,
14.
I've always said this. Like, if we did 14, it would be the only Final Fantasy game we played for an entire year. Like, that's it. And like every month we're reviewing base game would be like January. February would be expansion pack 1. Like, we would have to review each section of that game separately.
Mm-hmm.
And
which is how I've always said you had to do it. And every time you're like, no, we're just not gonna do it.
Listen, you get to listen to Masayoshi Soken music, so that's fun.
Yeah. The music's good. It's actually a good game.
Isn't that game technically in like right now like in a weird creative rut? Like the actual
people
did not like the tropical beach area that they added. Is what I got.
Which one?
The what was the last expansion pack?
Endwalker.
People did not like how it ended, I thought.
Those people are
Is there any way to play
wrong.
FF14 1.0? There is not.
No, not anymore. There is, like...
I've seen the pictures of what the original, like, forest dungeon looked like. No thank you.
No, because also original... You already played 11. So imagine that, but worse.
There are people who have their own personal, like, servers for it, but I don't think there's any way to play it with other people.
Wait,
so people did figure out how to do, like...
Dawntrail hasn't come out yet?
No, it hasn't come out yet. That's the next one.
Have they at least announced what all of the new jobs are going to be in Dawntrail?
They announced
There's a
one so far.
Or something.
It's called I think it's called like a Viper. It's got 2 swords.
Wait, so their tropical pirate themed area is not going to have a pirate job?
Well, it's like pirate-y. But
you got 2 swords. That's pretty piratey.
Yeah. People thought it would be like sword and gun, but no. Not yet. Anyway. I think they're going to announce one more, and that's going to be pretty soon, I think.
Blue Mage 2. We're bringing it back. You can use it in raids now.
Nope.
What if you did like a green mage, which does all support magic?
They already have that. It's called White Mage.
But also White Mage is DPS, secretly.
White Mage is secret DPS. Warrior is secretly a healer. I think it has all the standard jobs.
Like, when I talk to my friends that do play Final Fantasy 14, I'm just amazed at, like... I don't mean this as an insult, but the fact that the community is able to do all of these creative things in spite the fact that the game's actual architecture and tools don't want them to do anything super creative, like what people have done in their houses when the tools for making that are actively bad.
Yeah.
Like, that's the part of Final Fantasy 14 where it's like, I will never probably figure out how to do all of these cool and interesting things, but God bless the community that did.
That's like some people are basically only in it for doing housing stuff. Like, Daisy's mom plays Final Fantasy 14 only to build houses. Like, she made my house in game.
That's great.
Now I can never move because I'll lose the house.
Is Daisy's mom also an Animal Crossing fan?
I don't know.
Oh man. So I feel like
Some
I had
people
this
do just want to dress up their cat girls. That's
So
the other
you
end
tell
game.
me this: if you guys were to do like an Animal Crossing podcast, how would you do it? Would you pick it at the start of the year and then you don't record the podcast until like December?
Oh God. I don't think that's gonna be possible.
Yeah.
I don't think I've stuck with an Animal Crossing for longer than like a couple of months.
I don't
Yeah.
actually like Animal Crossing.
I like the Animal
I
Crossing
like it
that
in
had
theory.
games.
Yeah, like I have played a couple.
I'll tell you, that Animal Crossing game that came out when we first locked down for the pandemic was that's a real clever way to when to release that game.
Yeah, and then
lucked out.
Nintendo's like, okay, here's like one DLC thing. We're not making any new stuff for this. This massively successful thing that we made.
Yeah.
But anyways, like you were saying, like I'm amazed at the Final Fantasy XIV community, but like as someone that knows that I'm not gonna be able to figure any of this shit out, like I look at sometimes like I had a friend of mine. I explained to me how to set up a macro in 14. And I feel like my eyes glazed over. Honest.
Is this like when we tell Gino how to set up a Doom WAD? Or an emulator?
Here's the thing, you don't have to do any of that stuff to play the game successfully. Like, if you want to play with just mouse and keyboard, you are welcome to do so.
I sometimes say this story, but we have a former moderator. Or actually, no, he's still a moderator. In fact, he's the one that edited all of the GOTY lists on the site, Marino. And Marino is maybe he is an encyclopedia of knowledge about EverQuest. And when I say EverQuest, I mean OG EverQuest. And the story that I always tell in terms of like, yes, this is the man you want to talk to if you want to know what it was like to play MMORPGs pre-World of Warcraft. Marino and another player in South Korea colluded together to price fix entire commodities in that entire video game and made bank. And he completely ruined the economy in an actual MMO for like months.
But I bet it has to do with those artifacts.
Single-handedly.
Hell yeah. That's the dream, baby.
I love hearing those kinds of anecdotes where it's like, we broke the game and the developers had to intervene.
We're gonna get a GM involved.
Yeah, or you know, EVE Online.
Or yeah,
EVE
no,
Online
well,
stories,
that's the thing
but
about EVE
without
Online
the part
is like,
where
the EVE Online developers are like, yeah, they broke the economy. That's the point. But also,
we didn't get involved with that.
Yeah, we didn't get involved.
Fuck them. That's their problem.
Please contact engineering to facilitate repairs. Thank you, and have a nice day.
All right.
But yeah, I mean,
see, I feel better about Doom 3. This game is also just
destroy all who oppose me.
I remember we were like having talks about like, should we play more normie games? Like I remember Gina was like, what if I played or picked GTA? And it's like, you don't actually want to do
I think that would be very funny though.
It would be funny. It would be funny to have these three intellectuals talk about the implications of the world of GTA when the audience for GTA content just wants to be, what about the shark cards? You didn't talk about the shark cards.
My favorite, I love when people are like, GTA woke? Because there's a woman.
Woman in GTA?
Girl?
That's not allowed.
Alright, I'm gonna call it here.
Okay.
I will play more Doom 3, I guess.
Oh, you gotta shoot that guy. He's got a tentacle.
Yeah. Is Joku streaming?
Is Joku doing something illegal?
No. Who would do something illegal? I would never do something illegal. Yes, Joku is streaming. So.
Oh, he's playing Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
That's a good.
That game seems very charming.
It is.
Anyway, more Doom 3 in case you like me shooting demons in series of linear corridors. Bye.
Bye.